What's up everybody, welcome back to my playthrough of Disco Elysium on Games with Grant. I'm about to end my third day and I've been making a lot of progress in this game in recent streams. I feel like I'm actually getting somewhere, building towards perhaps a finale. But maybe not. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm just sending out the message to let people know that I'm live, and there we go. I am live officially now, playing Disco Elysium. Let's get straight into it. End this day. I'm assuming I end the day by just going to bed, but I'm not sure, because Kim's here with me. Has Kim entered the house? No, he hasn't. Alright, that makes sense.
On the table, you see a bowl of... An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see your reflection in it. The expression fixed to your clean-shaven face. You're still not accustomed to it. Like the rest of you, it comes from a bad place somewhere in the past. That's all you know for now.
Okie dokie. 3% chance of that.
It's too late. Like an image on...
Yeah. The chances of that happening were slim, but why not?
The bed is comforting, if a bit run down. Still, you've earned a rest.
The option to go to sleep becomes available every night after 2100. Oh, alright. Too soon then. Off I go. Back to investigating. Let's see if there's anything I can quickly do before having to go to bed, because there are some things that are now time restrained and time limited that are preventing me from progressing. So let's go straight to the bottom. Right, can't do that, need to get a sad song on tape. That's something that's being done in the background, not a lot I can do about that. Something again. Analyze Gary's composure to find out if he's hiding something more. Who's Gary? I can't remember who Gary is. Find a way into the secret passage, investigate the doomed commercial area. So I'm trying to do that, but I need it to defrost first and then I'll sort that out. Find booze and drink it, I'm not doing that. Oh. Can I do that? Yeah, I think I can do that. Right, I'm gonna go back to the vehicle. The Camina, I think it's called. And I'm gonna call the station and get some more information. The game has just been patched. Don't know what exactly is updated from the last patch that I just downloaded yesterday, but apparently there is a new patch that has been updated. So hopefully it runs a bit better. I am seeing a little framey element to it though. It's not quite 60 frames, I don't think. But it's good enough, it's not distracting.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
I need to report a dead body on the Martinet boardwalk.
One moment. Can you please describe the body? Age, sex, cause of death?
An unidentified middle-aged man, height 170 to 175 centimeters, dark hair, medium build. Looks like he slipped, fell through a hole in the boardwalk and hit his head against the metal bench.
We suspect he might have been inebriated when he fell. There were bottles all around him and traces of vomit on his shirt.
Any signs of violence?
No, seems like it was an accident.
No field autopsy necessary.
You can hear her quickly typing in the background.
What about his belongings? Did you examine his clothes?
He was wearing boots, trousers and an old leather jacket with a bright blue lining. I found a library card from his pockets.
Any information on the library card?
It's from Central Jamrock Public Library. It belongs to someone named Billy Mayin.
Good. You have a lead. Do you and Lieutenant Kitsuragi want to take the case, or should I assign it to someone else?
We're taking the case.
I have assigned the case to Lieutenant Kitsuragi. Please follow up on this library lead to identify the man. We'll send someone to take the body to the morgue. That's all for now. Thank you for reporting in. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Well, let's connect to the library and finish up this.
I'm afraid they're closed. It
Oh.
says here that the library is open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Damn.
We should try again during business hours.
Anything else, Detective?
Right.
It will take just a moment.
Her voices fade out.
Gottlieb, what you get yourself into this time?
How did you know it was me?
Didn't, but now I do. How's the drinking going?
I decided to stop completely, forever.
Ah, great to hear it. Stop by sometime when you're done with your case. I'll draw some blood, run it through, let you know how much forever your liver's going to give you.
I think I've had a heart attack.
And you survived it. Congratulations. Are you mobile?
Yes.
Even better. Anything else? I wouldn't worry about that. Officers your age have coronary trouble all the time. Also, death is a natural part of life.
Doc, someone broke my heart.
Look, pal, getting pumped and dumped is not a disease. People live through it all the time. You should be happy for her.
Wait, pumped and dumped?
That's what the guys say, officer. That some chick pumped you and then dumped you, threw you away like an empty juice carton.
Do you know who this person was? Have I told you?
You must have me confused for a close personal friend. I am not. I am a medical professional with a constant idiot emergency on my hands.
One needs tending to right now, he thinks, looking around the room. God, these apes. You hear someone whine in the background. My eye, Doc, my eye.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else I can help you with, officer? Right. Please hold.
10-4, come in. Fireworker, over.
I am happy to report that I have found my badge, Jules.
10-4, sir, glad to hear that. I'll write down that there is no need to issue a new one to you then. Over. Roger that, 10-10, over and out.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Right. Ah, that's
Not
all I
yet.
wanted.
But I was able to convince the database people to share private sector information. They promised to get back to me by tomorrow morning. Do you have any other questions?
I can't remember why I would need to get in contact with Sylvie again. I'm gonna
Just
do
a
it
second,
anyway.
officer. Sylvie Malaika on the line for... Yes, hello?
Hey, Sylvie, it's the police again.
Oh, great. What else do you need, detective?
Have you seen my gun?
Please, no. Not this again. Everyone saw your cool gun, detective.
I showed you my gun. When did it happen?
You were trying to impress some people with it. Everyone was eating, and
And what? What did I do?
you were waving it around in everyone's face, begging them to describe it. You said it calms you, and then you started making suicide jokes. It got pretty graphic.
Oh, those again. I have been trying to wean you off them.
Off of what?
You know, when you put your gun, your actual gun, on your temple and pretend to shoot your brains out, off of that, people don't like that.
I can't imagine why.
I remember this. You were screaming things like, "My brains are all over the wall," painting them red. I won't be seeing it, 'cause these are my brains. I can't see without my brains. Very nice visuals there. Some poor sod was trying to eat his pudding while you were screaming, spit flying, imitating the mercy shot right next to him. Spat some in his food. I don't think he touched it after.
Okay, I don't know what to say.
Me neither.
What happened to my gun?
No idea. All I know is next you were waving around money instead, saying things like, big bucks cannot lie, and guns can't buy money, but money can always buy guns. It almost looked like you pawned it. But believe me, I did not ask.
Alright,
You
that's
hear
all
the
for
call
now.
break it.
Anything else I can help you with, officer?
That's it.
57.
In the cabin, you see a set of steering levers.
Right, let's check out this stuff now. Let's boost up the smallest one there is, which I think is physical instrument, which I can't remember being that low before. Or maybe I changed my clothes and that's why it went down a bit. Alright, so can't do any of these because they're all in the background. Although could find Gary, but I can't remember who Gary is. Running them on the victim's armor, I've got to do that in the morning. The victim's tattoos, I've got to ask around about that. Can't do that because he's not there. Actually, I can do that in just a bit. So I will do that in just a bit. I can attempt that again, but don't really feel like it'll work. Need to check the traps. Do that tomorrow. That has to wait while I do something else. Right, that needs to wait for something else. That's something in the background. That I'm waiting for it to defrost. And that's something I can do, but I've been advised not to. Right, so let's head towards the guy on the balcony. By the time I get there, hopefully it'll be time. Oh, nope, nope.
The sight of bullet holes stirs something in you, making you forget the lieutenant's surname.
Kim, look, bullet holes.
Where?
Point to the chips in the walls. Someone has been shot. We're cops, we should solve it.
There? Those are old.
Oh, you mean like from the revolution?
Yes, the one that happened half a century ago. Those bullets were fired during the revolution and do not warrant an investigation by officers of civil law.
Okay, what can you tell me about this revolution?
Not much. I don't have a fresh perspective on it. Shall we go?
Fair enough. I'm actually glad he didn't want to drone on about this revolution I've heard so much about. Can I do anything with that yet?
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here. You have no clue.
Nope.
So many walls.
No, I need to go this way. Into here, then onto the balcony. If you've missed any of my Disco Elysium streams, remember you can go to Games with Grant on YouTube to catch all of my Twitch VODs, unedited, there on Games with Grant on YouTube. So far I believe it's a 13-part series, so I've played quite a bit of it. This is by no means a short game. It's very meaty, a lot of depth to it. And I've arrived way too early. Let's see, is there anything I can do in here? What's that?
It's the letter you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board.
Ray, Prabot, Chinkas, torch, alcohol, not touching that. Clothes, I've got lots of clothes. Can't get rid of any of them because you can't sell them. Items, pen, the postcards I can sell. Some of the stuff I think I can sell, but I'm hesitant to do them in case I end up needing them later on. There's a figurine I can put on for Dolores Day. And let's see what we got here. The Greatest Innocence, I've read that. The mug. Handwritten note from the fridge. There's the tattoo photo. Another book. Another book. Oh, There's my card. What's that? Library card. Filthy jacket. There's the tape. Chewing gum wrapper. Map of Martini. Right. Let's look at the map. Talk to Kim.
Yes?
Why did the 41st send me?
Look at you. It's because you're a failure. They sent you to Slight, Precinct 57.
What? No, that can't be right.
Just think about it for a second. You're a raging alcoholic who showed up 3 days late wearing piss-stained disco garb. You weren't sent here to win.
Kim, what if my precinct sent me on this case because I'm a fuck-up? Like, as a joke?
I've considered it.
Oh, that's not the answer I wanted. So it's true.
It would be immensely ugly of them, not to mention unprofessional. But I also think it's somewhat unlikely.
Why is that?
I checked the records. This jurisdiction dispute, who polices Martinez, reaches back to the 30s. It's as old as my station. And all this time we can't decide who gets Martinez? I think, yes, both stations would prefer a win.
Do you see me as a safe bet?
Safe? No. But you're old. You've made it this far. Something has brought you through. We've only just started working together, so I don't know what it is yet. But it's there. So no, I don't think they sent you as a joke. And even if they did, they are in for a surprise.
So, I shaved.
Yes. I don't know what to say. Perhaps,
What is it? You can tell me, Kim. I know. Stunning, right? I knew I shouldn't shave. I knew it since still did it. What an idiot.
I'm not really sure about this turn of events. I think the mutton chops might have been a better idea. They sort of seem to cover up some of the...
Damage.
Either way, good on you. You were saying?
Alright. That was not the conversation I wanted. Right. Let's look at the map again, see what else I can interact with. So there's still something there I can interact with Kim on, but...
Yes? What do you want to know? Good. What about me? Good. Let's change the subject. Excuse me? You have a distinctive way. I hope you don't take this. They say it's a scene-clearing technique developed... I don't know.
Passing along frivolous interdepartment.
Let's keep looking at the map, see if there's anything I can interact with. Set of tracks. Where was the Gary thing? Gary the crypto... Right, I know who Gary is now. Right. There's a lot that I can interact with again. The problem is you gotta go through the whole conversation tree again to figure out what it is. So, what about this? Still not sure about these, not quite sure what the point of them is. See, these ones have little benefits. This one, not so much. Come on, pass the time. Surely 7
This
minutes will
door
make a
is
difference.
made of metal. No one answers.
We should return in the evening.
No one answers.
We should return.
Right, I'm gonna head off and come back. There must be something I can do inside, but even if it just passes off a little bit of time. Problem is, I've already been here. Haven't been here with Kim, but I have already been here.
A plaster cast bust depicts a middle-aged man with impressive sideburns. The name on the plinth reads Kraz Marzov.
Krasmazov was a mass murderer. There's nothing cool about keeping his bust on your nightstand.
He was definitely controversial. The tenant here seems to like him. There aren't many communists around, not after the revolution. Some youth still keep the ideology going, it seems.
Why does this tenant have a bust of Krasmazov in their bedroom?
The White Star, the photos on the wall. I think we have broken into the apartment of a young communard. How fitting.
Where's you? Oh, the real estate agent's gone. Is there anything I can do with this woman?
Give me a moment.
What's that? Can't remember that being there. Book 16 days. I've got a new book to read. 16 Days of Coldest April. The cover features a row of concrete buildings with a monochrome rainbow in the sky. It tells a rather excruciating story about two lovers during a period of ethnic unrest in Yugograd. The book has been filed under psychological realism.
In your hands, you hold 16 Days of Coldest April by Yekaterina Dahl. The cover image shows a row of concrete apartments above which span a black and white rainbow.
Feels heavy.
Indeed, the book is unusually heavy in your hands, as though the cover were lined with lead.
How long is this book anyway?
You flip through the book. The pages are thinner than you realized, and the type quite small and tightly set. It's nearly 600 pages long. Real art is dense and difficult. If it didn't feel like you had to wrestle a suicidal bear to get through it, you weren't really reading.
Look at the back cover.
The back cover is dominated by a black and white photograph of the author.
What does she look like?
She can't be much older than her mid-30s in this photograph. And yet, from this cover, the eyes of a sad old woman stare back at you.
Start reading.
In cold, detached prose, the author describes a scene from one of the Yugograd riots in the 20s. Youths overturned motor carriages and set trash cans ablaze, while heavily armored guardsmen dash in and disperse them in a flurry of baton blows. The Yugograd riots took place from 27 to 29. Fueled by ethnic unrest and the state's repressive tactics, these events are often seen as marking the end of a brief period of liberalization known as the Yugograd Spring. Like all such periods, it is frequently memorialized in art and literature. As ethnic tensions run wild, a pair of young lovers meet each other on the street. Somehow, in the middle of all the chaos, they manage to lock arms and look into each other's eyes.
What happens next?
It would physically hurt you to keep reading. Are you sure?
Read 10 more pages.
They go through a brief and somewhat awkward love affair. And in the end, they betray each other and succumb to the absurdity of Gradian life. The man becomes a lens grinder, completely abandoning his former existence. He toils through the daily drudgery at the Lenka polyfabricate. Happiness and fulfillment have eluded him his whole life. And in the end, he has nothing to do but dedicate himself to the craft.
And the woman?
She spends the next several decades standing at a conveyor in a Sosnovo fish processing plant. The smell of fish guts slowly seeps into her hair and skin, as every single one of her dreams dies, one by one. The memory of their short time spent together tortures the former lovers ceaselessly until the end of their days. Years pass in solitude, their bodies growing ever more decrepit.
This is terrible.
As life leaves their remains between the soil sheets, their final thoughts are filled with regret.
As are mine for reading all of that. Well, let's get back to the balcony. Time has passed. Quite a bit of time has passed. Long loading screen. Oh, there he is.
Gendarmerie, you found me.
His slender figure is backlit by city lights, its distant streets and motorways flashing like diamonds. It feels like a Friday. He seems to be in a good mood tonight.
We found a key hidden under a stone. Was it yours?
It was mine. My friends use it from time to time to visit me. So tell me, are you here to make things right again?
That's what I'm aiming for, yes.
Beautiful. I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting.
By the way, I'm really digging the view here. Is it Friday tonight? It feels like Friday. Why would I want to meet your friend?
Trust me, you do.
By the way, I'm really digging the view here.
That's why I chose this place. Martinez is special, isn't it?
Wait. Suddenly you are digging things?
Is it Friday tonight? It feels like Friday.
It does feel like the end of the week. Such gentle weather. Even the rain feels nice.
Very well, I'll talk to him, but first I want to talk to you. I have so many questions.
That's nice, but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you're looking for, not me.
He takes another drag of his unfiltered cigarette and looks around. It's getting dark and the neighboring windows have lit up, one by one. Downstairs, a cat crosses the yard, disappearing into the bush.
Besides, I've got to run.
Run where?
To the city. It's a beautiful night.
Only if you promise that we'll talk again. It's important.
Something flutters in the corner of the lieutenant's mouth as you're saying those words.
We'll talk. Just not tonight. Take care, all right?
And he's gone again. Looks like it's becoming a theme for him.
He's always leaving. Why is he always leaving, Kim? There's something so different about him that I just can't put my finger on.
Who knows, detective? It's a mystery.
There's something so different about him that I just can't quite put my finger on. I think I kind of know where this is going. And Senad underscore 1977 asks, is this the PS5 version? Yes, it is.
Different, of course.
His shirt. Why is his shirt always unbuttoned?
His shirt.
His shirt.
His shirt.
He's trying to dive deep into the mysteries of his shirt.
His shirt? No, I don't know why his shirt is always unbuttoned. Come on, detective, let's go. We've got a potential witness to interview. His Sunday friend, remember?
Alright, let's see what this is all about. They have been patching the game, like I mentioned earlier. The performance is pretty good. They've patched it. The frame rate does dip a little now and then. Sometimes the interactions don't always work, but that seems to have been addressed. There was only one big bug that I had which prevented me from progressing in the game, but that's been patched as well. So far so good. Every now and then some of the dialogue doesn't speak, but I think they've patched some of that as well. So yeah. A quarterly business magazine. What's that? Party Dragon's silk robe. That seems really inappropriate for a police officer to wear, but I'll have a look. Become the dragon. Become an addict in a strange bathing robe. Yeah, that is. that's. Yeah, that's definitely not my style. Doesn't even seem to. Yeah. An old photo of the same apartment, dated year '01. Expensive men's perfume lingers in the air. What's that? Samaran conical hat. Logic and... yeah. No, not my style. Borderline offensive maybe as well if I go around wearing that. An exquisite canopy bed made of metal. Dishes soaked up in a pot. An empty ashtray. Flyers for underground parties. Dates for an open lectures at a local university. Always go snooping around before asking the people because you never know what information you're going to find. Buckets of paint on the layouts of old newspapers.
Officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia.
You shouldn't be seeing him in an intimate setting. For some reason you feel this man is your superior. Superior, but he's not in the command chain.
My name is Charles Vildrouin, and I am an official with the coalition government. I work for the Institute of Price Stabilité on assignment from Sur-la-Clé. I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I am here to assist you in any way possible. Ask me about the hanging.
Hanging? What a drag. He seems like a cultured gentleman. You should ask him about the finer things.
Part the bed. Before we go on, I absolutely have to inquire about that wonderful canopy. It doesn't look that wonderful, but alright. Show him the silk robe. Before we get to that, tell me where you got this beautiful silk robe from. Show him the Samaran hat. We'll get to that right after you tell me the story behind that black Samaran hat. Right, I feel like these are all gonna suggest things about me which I'm not that keen on. So I'll just get straight to the point.
Of course. Let me just say it has been an emotional week for me.
The lieutenant takes out his notebook and nods to you to proceed.
You actually witnessed the lynching.
I'm sorry to say I did, officer.
This is just the break we've been looking for. Is it because you did it, Mr. Vildendroon? No.
Easy, detective. No need to jump to conclusions.
Because I did it?
Don't jerk my chain, paper jockey. You did it, didn't you? Nope, let's do this one. I apologize. I misspoke. I mean, what did you say?
Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I saw that night. It was so surreal to me, like in a play.
He holds out his hands and blossoms his fingers, like a drama teacher setting the scene.
What do you mean, like in a play?
It was just so strange. I could barely comprehend what was happening. I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they came in, carrying what looked like a body. And then I saw all the surrounding windows go dead, one by one. That's when I understood. I should not be seeing this.
Sounds like the victim was unconscious, or at least incapacitated. Well done, detective.
Who were they? Can you describe them?
I couldn't see their faces well, and there were quite a few of them. But they were very loud and very Martinez. Let's just say that the laboring classes can get rather expressive with their profanities.
How many of them were there?
I couldn't tell you exactly. Less than 10. Maybe 8?
The lieutenant sends you a sharp look at the mention of that number.
Were any of them huge, like 200 kilograms huge?
That's a giant you're describing. No, they were all quite human, as far as I could tell.
Well, that probably rules out Everett Clare, which was one of my theories. Did any of them look like drummers?
Drummers? Why, no. But then, I don't know what a drummer is supposed to look like.
I think we can drop the drummer angle. That was my bad.
What happened next?
I went back inside.
Were you able to see anything from inside?
Officer, the yard was pitch black. There was nothing to see, but I could still hear their voices. They were threatening to kill that poor man.
Were they men? Women?
All men, I presume. But again, I couldn't see very clearly.
What ethnicity were they?
I believe they were mostly white, though I believe I saw 2 Areopagites among them. And I am quite certain that one spoke with a Mesk accent.
What happened next?
Well, that's the strangest part, officer. Nothing happened. It was oddly quiet for a public lynching.
What do you mean nothing happened? They lynched a guy.
Eventually, their shouts died down, and that was all. There were no gunshots, no celebratory shouts, no anything.
Why didn't you call the RCM?
You're right, of course. That is what one is supposed to do in such circumstances. I was simply in shock. I'm afraid I don't have anything else to add.
About what time was all this happening, approximately?
All I can say is that it was late.
So let me get this straight. You didn't actually witness the hanging itself, did you?
No, I didn't see the corpse until the following day.
It seems this wasn't the break you were hoping for. I think we have everything we need. Thank you for talking to us, Mr. Villedroit.
Of course, anything I can do to assist the RCM.
What's an official like you doing in Martinique?
The coalition is only looking out for the price stability. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease blocking the normal circulation of the economy. It must be controlled. The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight.
Okay, but what are you doing here in this apartment?
Well, I'm renovating it.
Sure.
It is an interesting project. The building used to be a 12-story skyscraper before the cannons took the top 4 stories off. This, of course, happened when the coalition forces landed here.
I get the feeling that's not exactly why he's here.
You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the international community caused when we arrived here.
So you're some kind of bureaucrat?
Yes. As I said before, I am a commissioner from Sur-la-Clé working for the Institute of Price Stability. This is one of the main projects of the Moral Inter.
Wait, there isn't actually an Institute of Price Stability, is there? Or maybe there is. God, it's impossible to understand whether someone from the Moral Intern is joking or not.
What is this international community?
La Communauté Internationale is what Revacholians colloquially call the coalition. In other words, the nations that stopped the disaster of the revolution.
And what do I call the coalition?
Your employer, technically speaking. The governing authority of Revachol. The RCM is but one part of this provisional administration.
What is the price stability?
It is the most important thing.
That doesn't tell me anything.
It's the central goal of any sound monetary policy. Maintaining the price stability is essential to maintaining high levels of economic activity, which is essential for maintaining high levels of employment, which is essential for maintaining the social stability.
Basically, it makes sure the price of bread doesn't change.
Précisément. Too much inflation, bread becomes too expensive. Too much deflation, it becomes too cheap for bakers to produce. That's why the Institute of Price Stability works to keep inflation just below 2%.
Below 2% of what?
But not too far below, no. Too below is also bad. Below, but close to 2%.
You're not answering my questions at all.
The coalition believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits of the price stability. Transparency is one of our principles. Would you like an informational pamphlet?
Okay, sure, give me a leaflet.
A sound monetary policy is essential for addressing uncertainty. Stability is the raison d'être of the Moral Inter. It's the reason why I identify as a moralist. But oh, I don't have my leaflets on me today. That's too bad. You can always call our information line. Making information available is part of the Moral Intern's commitment to transparency.
I've heard about this moral intern before, but I want to know more.
It's the International Organization for Moralists. Hence, Moralist International. The Institute of Price Stability is just one of its many mind babies, as is the Coalition.
So what I'm hearing is that we're moral intern bitches.
Doing one's job doesn't automatically make one anyone's bitch. Besides, there are more nefarious powers to work for than the moral intern.
Are you a moralist?
But of course.
But why?
Because moralists believe in a normal, stable world governed by democratic values.
Lieutenant, are you a moralist?
Me? I'm a lieutenant of the RCM, dedicated to maintaining law and order in Ravachol.
A very moralist answer.
The lieutenant is practiced in the art of putting on a show for one's superiors.
But what is a normal, stable world?
The Occident is part of the normal world. Oranje, sur la clé.
Martinet doesn't seem very normal or stable to me.
Martinez? No. Martinez is something else.
What about the rest of Revachol? Is it part of the normal world?
Revachol is generally difficult. It's led by an interim government, which means it hasn't yet achieved full democracy. But they are working towards it. You're all doing very well here, relatively speaking.
Moralism is the ideology of foreign occupiers. Revachol must be governed by Revacholians. Democracy is a meaningless sham as long as the working class is under the boot, right? It's like every time I'm talking to people I'm choosing option D, none of the above. Is that moralism?
Of course, the detective's personal views do not represent the views of the RCM.
Your full autonomy is important, I agree. But it's an ongoing process. Nothing happens overnight. Now, enough of this delightful political interlude. Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Tell me about Surlaclef.
What's there to say? Sur-la-Clé is a modern, urbanized country that measures very high on the Human Development and Freedom Index. Mostly, though, it's known as the executive heart of EPIS. Moreover, it is a great sponsor of less emerged countries. Revachol is only one of its many darlings whose progress it supports and cherishes.
Darling? That can't be an official designation.
What makes Revachol Surlachef's darling?
Because a great percentage of Revachol's culture hails from Sur-la-Clé. Its language, its people, its cuisine even. Or at least in the downtown La Delta area.
Jamrock and other parts of the international zone have been mercifully spared of Sur-la-Clé's love for meatballs and mashed potatoes.
Tell me about Oranje.
Oranje is an exemplary nation who, as a core member of EPIS, contributes 28% of our annual budget. Next to Sur-la-Clé, Oranje is probably the most prominent member of the international community.
Which one of them is more EPIS?
As founding members, they are both very EPIS. Oranje carries a lot of political weight, while Sur-la-Clé takes care of the business side of things. Sur-la-Clé hosts the headquarters of the major EPIS institutions.
Okay, but outside of EPIS, what is Oranje?
Oranje's economy is one of the most advanced in the world. It has successfully transitioned from heavy industry to advanced services and generally acts as an engine for sustainable change in the international community.
But that didn't tell you anything about Oranje.
Can't you just talk like a normal person?
About what?
About Oranje, just tell me what it is, like there.
Oh, it's very urban and very well organized. Their streets are clean, their horse cars run on time, the people are polite and efficient. Like I said, they are an example for less emerged nations to follow. Whatever you wish, officer.
Tell me about your friend.
Ah, my friend. My friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra, and life has not been easy for him. But he understands the importance of education. He has taken his future into his own hands, and that's all that matters.
What's Kedra?
Kedra is a candidate member of APIS. But, between you and me, their potential membership is a more contentious issue.
What do you mean?
That it's never going to happen. They entered negotiations in 21, and it's been pending ever since.
But that doesn't tell me anything about Kedra itself. Is it warm there, cold, something in between?
It's warm. It's also known for its mandarin trees and dust storms from Supramundi. Kedra's an emerging market, but it still has a long way to go. Maybe that's why my friend's Ménage decided to emigrate.
How did you two even become friends?
How did any of us become friends? Bad things happening on the Insulindian Isola? Oil platforms ablaze in the night? Civil wars lasting for years? Finally, the international community is forced to step in.
What are you talking about? No one becomes friends that way.
Au contraire. It's how millions of people end up where they are. Meeting the people they meet. It's how I came here. And my friend, too.
You still haven't told me who he is.
Sorry. Who?
Your friend, the smoker on the balcony. We were just talking about him.
But I told you, officer. He's a bright young man here to pursue his education. Education is the foundation of our future, especially the arts. It is a cornerstone of our civilization.
Fine, but what's his real name?
Officer, you have to understand. I can't give you his personal information. I'm sure you have your own methods and databases, right? Please don't put me in this situation.
So all you can tell me about him is that he's here to study the arts.
He's deeply enmeshed in the study of the fine arts, yes.
Which arts?
He's a truly free spirit. He likes all the arts. Perhaps graphic design, printmaking, who knows? The world is open wide for a talented youth like him.
What are you doing in his apartment by yourself?
I'm just enjoying the view.
What view? It's dark outside.
Listen.
The baby is crying in the neighboring apartment.
Someone's baby is crying.
Oh, listen. The Insulindian Bay.
What about it?
This place used to be a luxury accommodation before the revolution. Apartments, of course, were much bigger then. A few walls have been added here and there, leaving some of the tenants without a private bathroom or a kitchen. But the million real view stays. You can't take that away.
I was asking about your friend.
My friend comes and goes. I'm sure you'll see him around. He's a busy bee.
A busy bee? What an odd choice of words.
I'm all ears, officer.
Well, thanks, I've got all I need.
A moment, officer.
Oh, really? Now you've got something useful to
Do
say.
you have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again once you leave.
Hold on, why can't we talk later?
It's against diplomatic best practices for an official in my position to be discussing murders with local militiamen. And I'm pressed for time. After you leave, I should be leaving as well.
That's not the real reason he's so apprehensive. Men in his position shouldn't be seen loitering around in underprivileged young men's apartments in the middle of the night.
I'm not going anywhere, I just want to take a look around in this apartment.
Sure, go ahead. It's a beautiful space.
It's clear you like the hard stuff, Brota.
The what? Sounds like my stomach is growling. What is my lower intestine going on about?
Evening falls. The time has come to take the vow.
Vows?
The vows of blood and flesh.
What is my lower intestine going on about?
Lower intestine? The term is metabolic and circulatory system.
Okay, but what's the hard stuff?
Fascism, Brota. Many things, but it's mostly about trusting your gut. Who does your gut tell you is the source of Revachel's problems?
Right. I don't think there's an easy answer here. Don't think it's that. Don't think it's that. Don't think it's that.
Yes, them, but also women.
Women? What?
Women, men of war. You don't like them. They're insane. Their idiocy needs to be scrubbed off this world with rubbing alcohol. Woo men need to go back to the fucking kitchen. That's what fascism boils down to. The rest is also important. But the main thing is that woo men need to know their place.
But I'm a feminist.
Feminists? No, it can't be. Not you. No one believes this.
Did you know you can forget thoughts? Go to your thought cabinet and forget all about fomanism.
What the hell was that? That's a new thing. Am I having some kind of stomach seizure?
Stomach truth. You're having a stomach truth.
Why am I getting this?
Because you've said the hard things that others won't say. The good things, you've said them many times.
Fashion sounds so bad though. What if we called it something else like traditionalism?
You're going to keep your views, right? Keep your views, Brota.
Absolutely not. I'm not going to be played by an upset stomach.
There's a slow, painful growl somewhere in your intestines, knocking on your alcohol-engorged liver. It is one of betrayal and disappointment.
Alright. Can I go in here? No. And I think I've looked at everything, just double
Was there
check.
anything else? Of course.
Right, well, that's that. I think it's time to call it a night. And get on with day 4. Again, don't know how many days this game goes on for. Maybe it just keeps going on and on and on until you solve the case. That would be handy. What's in here? There's a hidden section on there. For some reason though, you can't actually move the thing up and down. But yeah, let's call it a night and we'll see what happens in the morning. I'm actually going to investigate those trucks now that I've just remembered about that. So I'll investigate those trucks, then I'll call it a night. Also, just check out the environment. I don't think I've been out this late before, so who knows, there might be something different now that it's nighttime.
You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic. The tire tracks were left here by an unknown event that took place some days ago. It's a message, written in the language of burnt rubber. Some of that rubber stuck to the tiles right in front of the whirling in rags. This is point A. The driver started there, and then accelerated straight into the fence, left a hole big enough for the Franco-Nigerian cavalry, according to the cafeteria manager.
What happened next?
The driver proceeded to back out of the yard, barely stopping before hitting the adjacent building. Before heading south, must have been in a hurry.
This is where I started off with my motor carriage before sinking it in the sea.
No wonder the cafeteria manager seemed frustrated when he was giving us directions to the yard. Well, you did provide us with a very convenient access point to the crime scene.
Yeah. Everything keeps coming back to me, and I'm still under the impression that maybe I was the one that hung the body there.
What do you see?
No, that's everything there. I thought that was to do with the trucks, but maybe not. Let's speak to Kuno, just for the hell of it.
Kuno's like Kuno's dad? Kuno doesn't give a fuck about anything. Kuno does...
Is there anything undo in this bin again? I don't see why I
The
would
trash
be.
container stands. The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste. The container sounds a muffled gong.
Right, let's now end the night. Which means going all the way back to the other island where my apartment is. Because I don't fancy paying GOT 20 real just so I can go to sleep. And also because getting that money, not easy. I did look at this chart, didn't I? I think I did.
Nothing has...
Yes. Alright, here we are. Let's end the night.
It's getting cold. This late in the night. Time to call it a day.
Good night, Kim.
Good night, officer. We'll meet in front of the shack in the morning.
Let's see if I have any weird dreams again. Weird dreams which always require some sort of deciphering and an interpretation.
The bed is comforting, if a bit run down. Still, you've earned a rest. Across the room, the heating system hums its soft lullaby. The mattress feels soft and sheets warm. It only takes you moments for the world to fall away.
Thoughts, baby. A million little lights in the dark. You're one fine instrument, brother. All those faces and all those names. All that laughter and screaming and scheming around. Every corner and every street.
Recorded in you forever on Faraday.
Spinning, spinning, tell me am I dreaming?
No, you're spinning tapes at the discotheque. The great unceasing disco of the mind. The flash. The bang. The endless learning experience.
Spinning in eternity.
On and on it goes. For untold hours. At the disco where you first asked her to dance. Rising. Rising. Above the dark curvature. The great wingspan of sleep, studded with stars.
Behold, there are millions of them down there. The first time, the last time, the smoke in her mouth, the plotted flowers, the faces turning, changing.
What is it?
It's the world, Harry boy, and you're made of it. Every day you're out there, you make more of yourself from it. I'm afraid you can't be unmade now. You can never forget this shit.
The rain, the snow, I don't want to. It's beautiful. The endless visions erase them. The colors, the voice.
Beautiful. It's stuck on loop, whirling, spitting out words and images.
You're the son of the world again. Harrister, a ceaseless agent. Picking up litter and old newspapers. Collecting your little bubblegum wrappers and idiotic picture postcards. Meaningless, meaningless keepsakes.
Reading your awful letters and recalling things, aren't you? The endless names of the world. An address book you are. The map of a city.
That's right, I am the agent of the world, but what if I want to be the agent of nothing?
You'll go insane if you keep going like this. One more day, and you'll be in the loony bin. I just know you will. And for what, brother man?
For the greater good.
Solving your little crossword puzzles, doing your tasks, crossing names off lists, trying to become some sort of world detector. It won't make it okay. It won't put smoke back in her mouth.
We're making progress, measured, steady progress. There he goes again, he's real political animal, our Harry. He still doesn't see that it's the world that's changing him.
He's got no idea what he's in for.
Why?
'Cause only love can break your heart.
Feel the pillow under your cheek.
Beep, beep, beep. The alarm is ringing, Harry. The disco circus goes on and on. You barely slept 3 hours last night.
You can do it. It's nothing. Do it for the city. Go. Do it for the picture puzzle. Put it all together. Solve the world. One conversation at a time.
Alright.
Good. You're up. Listen, there's something that's been bothering you for a few days now.
What is it?
It's a suspicion, or a feeling really, that things are not quite in hand around here. An earth-shattering deduction from your psyche. What will those guys come up with next? Every day, things seem to spin more and more wildly, out of control. The center isn't holding. And despite your efforts to moderate and contain these energies, things only seem to be getting worse.
Wait, I thought things were going pretty well. Let's get right to it. What needs to be done?
Oh, sure. You've been making progress on your case, interviewing people, solving side tasks. But who's focusing on the big questions?
I assumed the most qualified and highly credentialed people were taking care of that stuff. This really doesn't sound like my job.
Open your eyes. Stop getting distracted by details. It's time you started focusing on what really matters.
What am I supposed to do?
You've got to find out who bears la responsabilité.
What exactly is la responsabilité? I thought I was assigned responsibility for the murder.
The most awesome, terrible thing. It is human nature to crave la responsabilité and to deny it. That's why it must be distributed across many different organizations, agencies, offices, and portfolios. Harry, you're thinking about this too narrowly. La responsabilité isn't concerned with trivial questions like who killed who. It's about the real issues. The Human Welfare Index, the price of staple goods, the transition to real democracy.
Alright, give it to me. I'll accept responsibility.
Whoa. This isn't some kind of dictatorship. You can simply seize la responsabilité for yourself. It must be given by a legitimate authority, like a committee.
Do I really have time for all this?
There is always time to follow best practices. Once someone's decided to cut corners for the sake of expediency, who knows what else they're capable of? Swift, decisive action. A little self-dealing.
And who should sit on this committee?
Only the most even-keeled minds in Martinez. Your half-brother, the lieutenant, is a natural place to start. Together, you'll be able to discover who has la responsabilité in Revachol. And, if necessary, you'll have the wisdom and expertise to assign it among yourselves.
And what happens once we've assigned responsibility?
Most likely, your findings will be collected in a report, which will be carefully reviewed by your superiors. Once they've reviewed it, those same superiors will produce a set of recommendations to be taken up at the next meeting of the Standing Committee. Rest assured, no matter what happens, it will be done through the proper channels. Good luck. Your report is eagerly anticipated.
Alright, let's see what this is. Take on the responsibility. Things down here are a mess. Someone really ought to do something about it. First though, you and some other moralists should probably form a committee to decide whose job it is. Form a committee of moralists to assign responsibility. Kim might know where to start.
Yes?
Kim, we need to talk about responsibility.
I'm glad to hear it, Detective. I was wondering when we'd get to this very subject.
Good, we're on the same page then.
If you ask me, it's high time for you to set aside these frivolous side tasks and focus 100% of your energies on the case before us.
No, I meant like la responsabilité. You know, the kind that gets assigned.
Why are you pronouncing it like that gentleman from the Institute of Price Stabilité? You know what? Forget it. What specifically are you trying to assign responsibility for?
For the murder.
But isn't that our job?
No, it's way more nuanced than that. There's like this whole historical or socio-economic dimension to it.
Now I understand. Next, I suppose you're going to tell me you need to form a committee to assign this responsibility?
Yes, exactly.
Fascinating. And here I believed your recent turn towards moralism was just an act. In any event, I am just a humble law official. I may work under the moral intern's umbrella, but I'm certainly not qualified to serve on any committee. You know who might be, though? That Mr. Villedron, the gentleman you met in the young man's apartment. If I were trying to get in touch with the coalition, I would start by seeking him out. But first you might need to speak with his young companion. Now, was there anything else?
So let me guess, I've got to wait now. Look for the Sunday friend. The smoker on the balcony might know where he is. And the smoker on the balcony's not there until like 9 o'clock at night, so I've got to wait for that. Right, what else have I got to do? Go back to the car first and we'll phone up about the gloves. And I will also check out the ice cream machine now, because I imagine that's defrosted overnight. Oh, what the hell's going on here?
That's one brutal motor carriage.
If I were a real skull now, I'd jack it, paint it in palm tree livery, then bottom light it, neon style.
A snazzy shit-ripped skullmobile like this would make a fine trophy. We could, like, hang fucking shrunken heads from the side mirrors. Cops' heads. Scary tribal shit.
Yeah, tribal shit. A cop carriage like this would have proper skull value.
While I appreciate the interest you take in my brutal motor carriage, I have to stop you right there. The RCM takes threats directed at its property seriously.
It's just theoretical work, Copper. No basis in reality. Man, if we were certified skulls right now...
Who are you?
I can tell you who we're not, cop. We're not snitches, flowbears, or skulls.
Which is not to say that the skulls are bitches and... On the contrary,
The part of this presentation you want to take home with you, cop man, is we're not part of the Skulls. Yet.
Okay then, let's indulge in some intellectual exchange. These young men seem eager to share their beliefs.
Who are the Skulls?
You don't know? What kind of cop are you?
It's not a question. Don't get into it.
Of course I do, I'm just testing you boys.
The Skulls are the most vicious gang of the Besmertne.
Besmertine, or the Besmati, the Immortals, are West River Sholian crime syndicates.
The nastiest bunch of psychos ever. Jacking carriages and getting into high-speed chases.
Possessing an infinite amount of fuck-all swagger, infamous for their non-verbal modus operandi.
Non-verbal?
If a skull spots you, he will pull out his dagger and stab you without saying a word.
The lieutenant's voice is as calm as usual, a testament to the violence and death he's witnessed through the sight of his firearm.
They usually occupy the burnt-out quarter in Jamrock, or you can find them loitering around their brightly painted bottom-lighted vehicles.
I can't wait to become a Skull. Bottom lights are wretched aggressive.
Do you know anything about the murder that took place here?
Murder?
A man was hanged in the backyard of the Whirling Rags.
Yeah, sure. We'll gladly tell you everything we know about it. It was a man.
Also, he was hanged.
Anything else?
He was hanged from a tree.
Yeah, I mean, duh.
These punks don't know anything. Let's just move along.
Hey, stop right there. How does one know anything?
Ah, this sounds like epistemology, a field so occupied by thought that it begins to question thought itself. However, there is no way these young men could possibly be aware of her work.
I'm not going to entertain you with this any longer.
Sure. Understandable. Fucking I appreciate your effort, though.
Do you guys know Cindy the Skull?
Oh, yeah. Cindy's a right proper Skull.
Yeah, a true artist of the future. Just like Arno van Eyck.
By the way, if you see Cindy, give her our regards.
For all their nihilistic posturing, these young men are not lacking in youthful idealism. The lieutenant on your left is unusually lenient toward them.
I see you kids are into anodic dance music.
Oh man, yeah. We're not fucking kids, man.
Be wary of the abyss.
Why?
Probably because of how non-verbal their mode of operation is going to be. It's a threat.
A threat? Good, I like those. Don't fuck with me, boys. I'm one of the bad cops.
But I don't. In fact, I dislike them so much I'm willing to drag you boys back to the station just to calm myself down.
Hey, there's no need for that. We're just talking here. Joking, too. Stay light, man.
Yeah. Didn't you cops, have some questions about skulls or some shit?
Why aren't there more skulls in Martinez?
The Union does their share of policing in Martinez, at least where gangs are concerned. That's why there isn't much organized crime around here.
Apart from the unions themselves, of course.
Don't you worry about that. We're gonna make up for the deficit.
Yeah, we are.
Your rhetoric is confusing. Are you a part of the Skulls or not?
We're not franchise Skulls. Well, not yet. Once we get our name out there, we'll have a chance to join them.
And what makes you think that the organization would accept you?
Because we can be just as psycho and vicious. You'll see.
But in a non-threatening and definitely legal way.
We'll fuck the system from the inside later. Just be cool now. The damage will be tenfold.
Right on, fuck. So what's happening now?
Enough about this scullery then.
Mm-hmm.
What's with the jackets?
What about them?
Why does your jacket have that written on it? Turn to the dark ages. Why? Right.
Well, first off, it's a statement and not necessarily something that characterizes me as a person, even though the statement has character. And I do like piss.
Okay.
The word piss epitomizes the struggle taking place in the world. Things being defined as they seem, not as they are. And, I guess, it's also about communal spirit, the future, and truly appreciating our differences. Also, you've got to admit, it catches the eye. And since the Grand Piper is slowly but steadily moving towards basing the economy on it, attention, it is imperative that the medium itself convey the message. What I mean by this is, we are all piss and that the world is inherently meaningless.
It seems that the young man has a certain expertise in at least one field, even if it's rather narrow.
Like I said before, many men keep searching for the one, for so-called true love, which is actually just obsession masquerading as kinship. The thrill of the chase, the hollowness that fills your chest cavity after catching it.
I'm wondering if the poetics come with the jacket, or are they derived from something else entirely?
To catch a fish, you'll need to hurl the lure many times, and even then it isn't certain that you'll get anything. If you blow up the lake, though...
That is a terrible metaphor.
You get more fish in a shorter time. And, for time is of the essence and fleeting ever so quickly, one must think of a way to fuck the whole world and not get caught up in fucking someone. Because when one fucks everything, he fucks nothing. And that, to me, feels glorious. Sticking your dick into the void.
Hate to admit it, but in a weird way, he's got a point. Is it a coincidence that here we have 2 badass jackets and 2 badass cops?
Hey, Kim.
Yes?
Do you think it's a coincidence?
What is?
There are 2 of us and 2 of these jackets.
What are you implying?
Which one would you wear?
I'm not sure I understand you, Detective. Neither.
Come on, Kim, it's just a mental exercise.
Fine, if only to end this discussion. Theoretically, if I were a juvenile delinquent, if I were to already be down that path, I think peace is the stronger of the 2 statements.
No way, if anything, that works. I feel like I'm more, yeah.
Seems about right, especially considering your heroic exit attempts.
That's an origin story for a dynamic duo right there.
So are we done here? Or... you don't need us around for your secret whisper party, do you?
Right. I'll give that a go.
No,
oh, crap,
no.
it's worked.
Don't ask anything. Be subtle and scary. The boys dream about being skulls. Use that.
Wait, how?
Suggest they're massive skulls. Come on.
What? No. Skulls don't have kings. I think. And we're not even in yet.
Yeah, man, keep your voice down. Skulls don't take it lightly when folks pretend to be them. We're not even prospects yet.
Prospect must be a hierarchical term. Probably in the lower end.
Not even prospects and already aspiring to be kings.
Wow, you boys are ambitious. Only prospects and already planning a coup in the skulls. You're destined to go far.
Okay, I think he's getting a little carried away now.
He gets it. Passive-aggressive flattery.
Shut the fuck up. Are you trying to get us killed?
Now bring it to the jackets and, yes, start shouting.
Yes, we want to be a cool killer skulls too, like you guys, but we don't have skull jackets.
Please be quiet. What? What do you want? The jackets?
You got it. No need for cruelty.
You offer us your jackets like that? It'd be impolite to refuse.
Oh, man. Okay. I get it. Skulls don't really wear slogans anyway. This was stupid.
Fuck.
The lieutenant watches the boys take their jackets off with mild amusement.
Since you said you're more of a kind of guy, I'll take the other one.
I'm absolutely okay with not having either one, thank you.
Why not? They're a pair. We could raise hell. Go undercover hard.
This case doesn't require us to go undercover or raise hell. In fact, I don't think the jackets will be useful at all. I just wanted them to not have them anymore.
Cold-hearted cop.
Well, whatever. I'll take both of them. Still, it's good to know we have a pair in case the need arises.
The need will not arise.
The jackets are meant to complete each other. If a man was standing alone on a street corner with his written on his back, it'd just be an individual that has taken a liking to urine. And fuck the world, all on its own, is, frankly, generic.
I don't know, Eric. It's cold out.
Yeah, let's get out of here. The cops fucked us.
I really wish he just wore the jacket. Right, what shall I upgrade now? These two are the lowest ones. What does this do? Oh, I can't even update that anymore. Right. Well, that's the one. Alright, let's see these jackets. +1. Right, so I need the authority, so that's no good. I'll try it on just to see what it looks like. Yeah. It's fairly cool. Don't quite like the slogan. And that's just a black version with that one. Now, where's that? My proper coat gone? There it is. There we go. I like that. I do miss the hat that I had and really didn't want to give it away. Okay, now let's call this in and find out about whatever it was I needed to do
Inside,
again.
you see a set of steering levers, a radio.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Anything more about the armored boots?
Sorry, sir. I still haven't heard back from the database people. Try calling again later. It's 57.
In the cabin, you see a...
Right. It's taking its time there. And I think the library opens at 10, as they said. I will check out this ice cream machine now, see if it's defrosted.
This orange machine, turning the crank, feels oddly satisfying, like stirring your childhood dreams. In the distance, you hear water. You slip your fingers under the frozen lid, but the ice is too cold for you to get a good...
Didn't Sona give you a perfect...
Equip the multi-tool by going to the...
I know, I don't need all that. That's something that's new. That's the tutorial stuff has been patched in. That wasn't there a few days ago. Which is why it was so distracting before.
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has ice squeaks beneath your Kavalzun multi-tool, but your fingers slip away from the tool. Unplugging the ice cream maker will allow it to defrost.
I thought I did that.
Only the black cable is plugged into the breaker box, while the red one lies near something close to you, dies with a soft...
Very smart. Opening the lid should be much easier after the ice cream maker has defrosted.
Right, so I unplugged the wrong thing. Great. I'm assuming it won't defrost that quick.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. Ice squeaks beneath your Kavalzun, and it's already unplugged. There's not much else to do other than wait for it to defrost or bulk.
Right. That's that. I will have to come back later and sort that out. Come on. Navigating the menus is not the easiest thing ever. I think this is where it's very clearly designed for PC gaming rather than consoles.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black.
You're right. The rooms do look like they're connected.
Always has to be the skeptic, this man. It's dark. The echo is so prominent.
What are you doing?
I hear the murders of the hangman talk.
Really? You should investigate. See if someone's upstairs.
Yeah, but how do I get upstairs?
The bear's eyes are dead and empty. Ice inside.
I do feel like I've missed something in here, so I am going to explore. Because I know I've got to get up that chimney somehow, but... Right, see, there's something over there. What is that? How do I get there? Ah! I had no idea this was there. Yes, I've completely missed the whole area of this, then. Shoes in a puddle of the melting snow. The floorboards creak. What's that? Another postcard. Right. Oh, there's a person here. This tray is full of dice, colourful polyhedral dice, hundreds of them. The candy dispenser is being repurposed to contain thousands of dice. Who's this?
Hello, I'm Nia. Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Milius. So what kind of die are you looking for?
She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching.
Hold on. What do you mean by milieu?
Yes, a Milius is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these. Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
You must have me confused with someone else. I haven't knocked on your window.
Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind?
Why are you asking me about dice?
I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
Role-playing games? You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count?
Maybe. I'm not really sure why I'm here, honestly.
How strange. Well, if you're interested, my rate is 10 real per set. Unless you want something really unusual. Take a look around and see if there's any particular stone you want to use.
It almost looks as if the stones and dice are a natural part of the room, growing out of the shells like stalagmites. No falsehoods are present. She's a novelty dice maker and doesn't have anything to hide. Ask what you need.
How did you become a dice maker?
How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there.
Do you like role-playing games?
Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers? They're nice people.
Some of those nice people have big bucks to spend on novelty items. She's thankful for the security they provide her.
Okay, I'd like to order a die from you.
Of course. Tell me what you have in mind.
The Whirl, right.
What do you mean by cursed?
As cursed as this commercial area.
All right. How about I surprise you? Come back in 8 hours with 7 real, and I'll give you your cursed die.
It's a deal.
Great. See you in 8 hours then. Was there anything else?
What do you know about the man who was lynched behind the whirling in rag?
Nothing really. I didn't know him.
The lieutenant looks at his notebook, then the woman under the large window.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening?
I'm sorry, Detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window.
What do you mean by the daily ruckus?
Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard. During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike.
She's heard of the murder, but did not see it, sire.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid.
And you never took your eyes off the work to look out of the window?
I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness. It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone.
Do you often work Sunday nights?
It's an odd profession, making dice for people. But I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home.
I see, thank you for the answers.
She nods.
Anything else, officer?
Hey, where are we anyway? What is this place?
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know. But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus.
Creative.
I've heard this place is cursed. Did you know that people call it the doomed commercial area?
I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true.
Wait, how do you explain what happened to all those companies then? Pleasance is the one who sent me. She's convinced that this place is swarming with malicious energies.
It's just capitalism. We only hear about tales of success, so it's often surprising to realize how many ventures actually fail.
Pleasance is the one who sent me. She convinced me that this place is swarming with malicious energies.
Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energies spared her somehow?
Pleasance is a wise woman. She has Semini's trinkets protecting her against the curse. Actually, the bookstore isn't doing that well. There are hardly any customers and she has to exploit her own daughter to keep her company going. The curse is just biding its time.
Alright, but it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex.
Hold on, the Whirlin is part of the doomed commercial area?
You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the east of the Commerce Central project.
Yes, but it's still a separate building. The malicious energies can't reach there. No, the Whirlin isn't doing well either. Its waitress just took off and customers have trouble paying bills.
And then there is me. I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it?
Maybe it's just because she's so talented that she's been able to woo the curse.
Pleasance thinks it's because you're the source of it, a malignant entity. It's because you're competent and dedicated to your craft. The curse doesn't affect people like you. The curse will get to you. I'll be the first to admit there are many inconsistencies in this so-called curse.
Malignant entity? What does that even mean? Some kind of sorceress? What about you, officer? Do you think I'm the malignant entity?
I'm starting to see that there is no curse, only business decisions and natural market fluctuations.
Exactly. Truth is always so disappointingly mundane and boring. But I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with today?
That's all she has to say on the subject. She's been thorough and truthful, as far as we can see.
Do you know what happened to other tenants? Everyone else is gone.
More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
Oh, quite a lot of them spring to mind.
There used to be a hair salon here, right?
Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word.
A bit of experimenting every now and then isn't bad.
What's wrong with a bit of experimenting? The customers should have been more open-minded. I would never let any
I guess it just wasn't the time yet.
What happened to the gym?
It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's boxing club. A community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime.
And who was Artemip?
A kind man, from Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym, as his way of giving back.
Maybe that's what Kuno needs, a community-centric boxing club.
Kuno? Who's Kuno?
He's sort of the king around here. Right, I'm not saying that one. He's a little ginger gremlin who likes to defile dead bodies.
Oh yes, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth. Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard. I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid.
How did that community project work out? Judging from the kids I've met so far, it didn't really work, did it?
It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines.
It's not really full of that. No one would store their drugs like that.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since.
What's up with the broken windows?
Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right? Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milieux. Who would have guessed?
What's the snuff milieu?
And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own.
Cool, very cool about the debris, but what's a snuff milieu?
It's a sub-Rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it.
Nothing changes in her tone as she says that, as if it's just another piece of information to lay out for the world.
Don't worry, the ACP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub-Roses. This isn't our problem.
Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators.
Did someone here make stuffed animals? I saw mounts lying around.
You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs.
Oh, it seems everyone here is related to drugs somehow.
Anything else?
I found creepy mannequins.
There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came.
Insect rights activists? What's in the name of?
The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier, which of course caused the price to skyrocket. And, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection.
They got what they deserved. Making clothes out of beetle wings is a terrible idea.
At least it had some spark to it. Most young designers just combine lace with leather and call it original.
As she shifts around, you notice several dead flies on the windowsill in front of her. Legs up. They're not moving.
Anything else?
What's with the rotor blades and skis?
They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money. Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula, or Tiumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is. Sure, it's illegal, but it's not exactly anything extraordinary in business. Besides, Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those keys and blades are still lying around.
They were just the props. Why return them?
I found a strange machine.
Fortress Accident, the radio game studio.
She liked them.
They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wirral. They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules.
What do you mean liberal? What happened?
The usual. They ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time.
What went wrong?
Well, I did hear them talking at times. They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest.
She sounds almost mocking when she says that.
From what I've seen so far, the project did look quite impressive.
Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic, and to show up to work on time.
She's right. Showing up to work on time is important.
That's too bad. I would have supported them. The project looked great. You're right, they should have just tried harder. They had everything needed to succeed.
Still, not everyone is going to make it. That's the nature of the game.
The result is 1 on a 20-sided die.
Anything else?
There was a terrifying taxidermied bear in the cellar.
Oh boy, the fabled Revachol ICT. You're in for a treat here. The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas.
Indeed. What were the other ideas?
Alright, what about other ideas?
There was really just one. And it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
Sounds like she really doesn't know how to be a female ally. Fritta does the same thing.
I know a girl just like that. She works in Frita as a cashier and she's not particularly friendly.
Employing silky teenage girls is a widespread practice, yes. Unfortunately, they always come in packs. I'm talking about acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the shop. At least that's what happened with Ravachol ICT. And they already had the bear.
What about the bear?
The bear.
Okay. It didn't work out?
Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. Eventually, Ravachol ICT lost the price war to its rival, Glacé 5000. Glacé 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges.
I'm sure the bear was doing its best.
Maybe, because the taxidermist who made that bear definitely wasn't. Doing his best, I mean.
How come?
He said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. Called it Megatherion.
Sounds cool.
Megatherion?
Megatherion. A mega wild beast.
Very cool. No. What's a mega wild beast?
It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life by telling you to do more drugs, mostly.
I do drugs. I've got a vision beast myself. I don't do drugs.
Very good. You shouldn't do them. You're a police officer after all. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire.
Little sparkling embers under the window.
Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? I've been here for a long time.
I found the business intercom, but it's not working.
Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me. I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion.
The doorbell with the empty name card must belong to her then.
So you're telling me that the doorbell with the empty name card was yours?
That's right. I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet.
I was wondering about the Whirling in Rags. Is it part of the same building complex?
You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Center project. That explains why you can call the whirling from the intercom, albeit I doubt that anyone responds.
If the whirling is part of the same building, then it's part of the Dune commercial area. The darkness of this place is there, too.
I saw a name, East Delta Pinball, on the doorbell.
Right. It used to be a gaming arcade. This is an ancient failure, before my time. I'm not surprised, however. My advice, don't base your business on a fad. Hypnotism, floriography, trick-track, especially pinball.
Agreed. Pinball is the worst.
Okay, no comment from me. Although, actually, I don't like pinball.
His disdain for pinball could not be clearer.
I guess I just left a comment about pinball there. Yeah, I don't like pinball. It's not good. A strange thing happened when I tried calling a company named Slipstream SCA. Someone answered.
It can't be true. They don't work here anymore. They've been gone for years. Are you sure it was Slipstream SCA? Was it a woman? Maybe it was Plaisance from the bookstore.
First, it wasn't Pleasance. I know her and would have recognized her voice.
Alright, but did this person say anything?
She said she was from Tricentennial Electrics.
Tricentennial Electrics? It used to be a major electric company 100 years ago. Are you sure it wasn't just some kids playing a prank on you?
It was too real to be just a prank. Either we're dealing with a professional actress, or...
You're right, I probably just got made fun of. No, it was something else, something eerie. It may have been some sort of rare electrical anomaly.
A prank is more likely, no? Oh, the kids these days. We were just one of them, and now they're terrorizing us. No solidarity.
I have a few more questions about the building.
Sure, I'm listening. I'm pretty sure it still doesn't... Sure, I'm listening.
Actually, I had other
Good.
questions.
I hope it clarified things a bit. What else? I'm listening.
I'm going around in circles now.
Good. I hope it clarified things a bit.
Right.
What else?
You feel nothing. If anything, it's uncomfortably warm in here.
No, I'm not going to do that.
She has begun to idly clean one of her carving tools with a dirty kerchief.
Right. So I feel like I've made some progress there. Pick up the dice from the die maker. Investigate the Doom commercial area. I'm going back to report to Pleasance now. It goes to show, just do some exploring, you never know what you might have missed. I had no idea that was there. Is this Emma's atelier? Right, how the hell do I get out of this place again?
What do you want to know?
No, I did not. Oh,
Good.
right. Oh, it's gone now, whatever that... There it is. Looks like the remains of the 24th window repair shop. Smells like leather and sweat. Can I interact with this yet?
The barbell waits patiently on the floor, like a dog for its master.
I'm not going to do that. That's an accident waiting to happen. I can get rid of the flashlight now.
What have you found? And also, do buy the books. There may be teachings in them.
I talked to the entity you told me about. Her name is Nia, and she's a novelty dice maker.
A novelty dice maker? Well, spit it out. Why does she need the dice? For some kind of sorcery? Sometimes they use the ankle bones of sheep.
She's not a sorceress or some malicious entity. She's a businesswoman like you.
I don't understand. If it's not her, then where is the source of the doom? How did she explain the curse?
Before you say anything, ask yourself, is the woman really able to withstand the truth? The narrative she's built herself, it does need tearing down. Just don't say you don't have any answer yet. The uncertainty is killing her. To hell with it. Perchance you ought to just lie, sire.
She says there is no curse because there are too many inconsistencies. She says it's just capitalism. Bankruptcy is a quirk of the economic system. The source is in the taxidermy. No. Honestly, I don't. Right, okay.
Wait, what? The entire economic system is cursed?
This woman's not healthy enough to withstand this level of stress.
I'm afraid that only world revolution can help you. Yes, the system must be cleansed of No. It's true, we live in a precarious world. Nothing ever turns out right. You need to get used to chaos. What I meant was, I found the source of...
Precarious world? Economy? I understand what's going on here. You went in there, rummaged around, and accomplished nothing. And now you're telling me these intellectual things to cover up for it. It's okay. You don't have to. I was wrong to trust another person. I will manage this psychic calamity as I always have. Alone. On my own.
As she has to, every day. Maybe you were wrong. She's endured for at least 4 decades in this world.
Thank you for nothing. Please, do buy some books, or be on your way.
Wow. Total psychic collapse between you two right now. There was never any other way this could have gone. She's just too far gone into her own mind.
I am sorry we had to disappoint you, ma'am. Can we go now?
Well. Right, well, at least that's out the way. Yeah. And with that, I'm going to speak to this little girl again.
Hi, Ace Detective. Are you here for more books?
Right, and with that, I'm going to end this stream there. If you've liked the stream, on Twitch that is, why not give me a follow where I will be streaming again later on today. Some more Disco Elysium. Trying to get through this game as quick as I can, because I've got other games to play and other games on the way. If you're watching on YouTube though, give me a subscription over there, I'd really appreciate that. Or just go over to YouTube anyway, Games with Grant on YouTube, and subscribe to my channel. At some point in the next few days I will be uploading a video all about Mass Effect. You can catch all of my streams on there too, and some other edited content like reviews of Hitman 3 and Cyberpunk 2077. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @the_GrantBurton if you want. And I believe that's everything, so thanks for watching this stream. I hope you've enjoyed it in some way or another. Until next time though, thanks for watching.